Sorry, already had the cigarette lit. I just spent 34 minutes messing with the doorknob on video thinking, this will be good content. No, it ended up being far too long. So, the topic today is going to be ambition. And, uh, in fact, I may very well have to cut this short. I have about an hour before Patriot Brunchcast. So, um, assuming that's going ahead. So, to talk about ambition, it's important to realize that ambition can be a boon or a bane, the same as anger. Runaway ambition, greed, jealousy, even envy, can lead us to do things that will earn us the disrespect, derision, and disappointment of our peers, assuming we have ethical peers and that we're an ethical person. And it can also lead to low self image, to say the least. Let me just adjust my angle just a touch. There we go. Now I'm actually centered. So, if you're not that sort of ethical person, you gain the sort of disrespect and disappointment of your peers, family members that I mentioned. If you are an ethical person, it will make you feel bad about yourself, at least ideally. Uh, Anyone who believes that they should act with honor and integrity is going to find that acting in a manner that is contrary to those principles leaves them feeling uncomfortable with themselves. And that's a good point to do a self-assessment, to take stock of how you feel about yourself and the things you've been doing. And it's much the same with anger. Uncontrolled, unbridled anger becomes rage, which is simply the completely undisciplined aggression. It is the urge to do harm for harm's sake, or to vent your aggression. It often leads to things like losing a fight because you stopped thinking, or doing harm to someone you ordinarily would not want to do harm to, or for a reason that you wouldn't think would normally be cause for harm, simply because you're out of control. But on the flip side, ambition and anger both serve positive purposes. And they're traits that the human being always has, ambition and anger. Some some people will find that their level of ambition is lower than others. And that's fine. No one said you had to compete with everybody. But except in the case of drug users, generally, hardcore drug users, abusers, sorry. Um, in the case of abusers of substances, we tend to find that the ambition and the aggression are both stunted. Occasionally, aggression is completely absent and ambition is far too high. Or it can be the reverse, where ambition is completely absent and the aggression can be far too high. Or you can have a mix of either, and occasionally both. Uh, but the positive aspects of ambition are, how to put it, the positive aspects of ambition are the things that drive you to accomplish your goals, to follow your dreams. In my case, I actually took action today because of my ambition to do better, more content, better content, reach a greater audience. I took a step today, and while I don't want to tell you about it because, well, I'm very, very excited, and I would hate to have it turn out to be a disappointment and then have to share that with you guys. Um, that said, uh, if it bears fruit, if it comes to be something that is going to get me advanced as a content creator, and I'm going to cease calling myself a YouTuber because I'm not just a YouTuber. Obviously, I have a Rumble account, and that account now can actually have live streams on it. I'm trying to decide exactly how I'm going to work those live streams. And if you guys have any input you want to offer, by all means do so. And, like, share, subscribe, shill it out to your friends, comment, pester your buddies with it. I don't care. And I really, really dislike having to say that, but the algorithm on YouTube being what it is what it is. And my unfamiliarity with Rumble and its recommendation system means that I'm not at the point yet that I feel comfortable not saying it. And yeah, this is another cigarette that I put out earlier. But I do want to say thanks again, if I haven't already. I'm getting confused. I made a 35-minute video earlier that ended up not being usable. But I want to say thanks to my friend Cass for suggesting ambition as my topic. Because until he had suggested it, I had not really considered myself an ambitious person. But I do have a level of ambition that, while it's not staggeringly high, I have no drive to become the CEO of a big Fortune 500 company, for example. Nor do I have the drive to be in super stacked, jacked shape, clearly. But I have a drive, I have an ambition to do good woodwork and to make good content for you guys. And, as often as I've said it, I really do want to share what hard-earned wisdom I've managed to gain over my 40-odd years. And some of it very hard-earned. Partly because I'd like to save some people, some other men especially, from making the mistakes I made, or from suffering from the lack of knowledge that I had when I was younger. And this isn't necessarily a failing of my father. My father didn't experience a lot of the situations I did. As the saying goes, it was a different time. But more than anything, I would urge you to find an ambition that you want to follow and to chase it. Ambition helps you, like I said, it helps you achieve your dreams. It helps you accomplish your goals. If your goal is, well, start realistic with your goals. Now, you might be in a position where you have no job, you're a complete coomer, any number of things. If your ambition is to stop being that, start small. Get a job. Doesn't have to be a great job. Doesn't have to be super stellar well paid. It just has to get you motivated to do better. And every time you accomplish one goal, it should always be your intent to create a second goal and follow that goal. And it should build. And hopefully, it builds to something great. In my case, because of circumstances in my life, I have fairly humble ambitions. Fairly humble. Now, obviously, it's great that I have over 180 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that, by the way. Never, ever think I take any of you for granted. But the level of ambition I have now is higher than it was this time 2 years ago. And I have to say 2 years ago because this was before I had started my YouTube. Before I had started making content online. And since I've started making content, I've achieved the goal that I set myself for the first year. And that was to have one subscriber every 2 days. And I thought that was a fairly reasonable goal. I just squeaked it. It was within a week of my timeline that I accomplished that goal. And I couldn't be happier. My intention had been, had I failed to reach that 180 mark, which is roughly, 182, 183, 184, in that range. Had I failed to reach that mark, and to be fair, I would have had to at least be 20% short of it before I would have given up. but I would have given up on YouTube, because if I'm not reaching people, there's really no purpose in me doing this. All I'd be doing is screeching into the void for my own amusement, and I have other things that could better occupy my time. Fortunately for me, you mad bastards decided that I was worth watching. Thank you so much for that. And because of that, I've now got a second goal and a possible big dream, which was what I was talking about earlier. Now, the big dream, it's a hope for the best, expect the worst situation. Nothing may ever come of the contact I tried today. I may get contact back, and I may be told, you're not a good fit. Okay, fine. And that's something you have to accept in life. Sometimes you just aren't a good fit. It's true for relationships, it's true for business. Sometimes you just aren't a good fit for each other. And if you have to end an association, try to do it without rancor. Try to do it without being angry, resentful, or any other form of pissed off. Because people change. And the place where you don't fit today, in 6 months, in 6 years, hell, in 6 minutes, you may find that things have changed and you do fit there. Burn no bridges you don't think you... Well, never burn a bridge you think you might have to cross again. For one thing. But by the same token, if you're going to act with honor and integrity, demand the same from your associates. And if you're not getting it, it's a good indication you should end the association. I just hit 12 minutes, so I'll finish up with this. And it is going to be a restatement of what I've said already. Ambition, like anger, can work to your benefit or it can work to your detriment. It's all in how you apply it. It's all in how you control it. And while you may be moving in one lane and watching other people fly past you, always remember to look in your rearview mirror, because there's a guy behind you who's struggling harder than you are and getting less far. Or not getting as far. Perspective matters. Keep your goals somewhat realistic, but don't be afraid to reach for that brass ring either. And for those of you who don't get that reference, dear God, you're young. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.